is Peyton Moody. I was born and raised in Bennett, right down the street from Mr. Gary Leonard. He was one of my educators. Him, along with many others, one of the many reasons I feel fortunate I was born and raised in this county. I did get a great education. I did grow up in a beautiful place, and I absolutely love this county. And that's why I'm running for county commissioner. We have a lot of great things happening. If you look at it from another angle, we have a lot of scary things happening. We've got a lot of things that we don't want to get ahead of us any more than they already are. A lot of the issues we have been talking about tonight, I'm not going to beat a dead drum no more than I have to on them. But we've got a lot of good things coming. I've been saying for years, I'm very fortunate. I live in the western side of the county. I was very fortunate to have a family business that I was able to grow up in and work in. And I'm still running that business today, and I've grew it into now multiple areas in multiple states. I've been saying for years, I wish we had more infrastructure, more places for people to work. I want folks to graduate from Chatham Central and Northwood and be able to work right here where they grew up, not have to drive to Raleigh or go out of the state. But in the same token, I want them same folks, when they're here working, I want them to be able to afford to live and work here. I don't want to tax them out of the county. I don't want them to not be able to afford a home. I believe it was April or May, Joe Mike can correct me on this, the median home price in Chatham County is now $600,000. There's not many jobs in this county that folks go to work at every day that can afford that kind of house. So I do agree we need to work on a lot of the different issues. Affordable housing is one of them. There's not much affordable housing anywhere in our county. One of the many things we need to address. I'm a new father to a 6-month-old baby boy. I've been married to my wife for 8 years now. We were both raised on the western side of the county. I like some of the points that was brought up earlier. I'm representing District 5. I want us to be all one county. I want to represent this whole county, but I do want to bring some strong representation to the western side of the county that I feel like we've been lacking a little bit in the past. If you listen to even tonight, most of the folks bringing up questions and issues that are predominantly on this side, and they're very important, and I want to get ahead of them. But one of the things Mr. Delaney said is, how do we blend these two sides together? It is very hard to do. But we've got to try to find a way to do that if we're going to be one county. Right now, the western side of the county, we're taxed the same as the eastern side of the county. I can promise you, good luck trying to sell a piece of land on the western side of the county for what it sells for on the eastern side of the county. We are vastly different, but we've got to all come together and find a way to make this thing work together. Again, I'm Peyton Moody. I'm running for County Commissioner District 5, and I appreciate you voting in November.
You said that you were from the western part of the county.
Yes, ma'am.
Obviously interested in rural areas. Can you talk a little bit more specifically about what you see needs to be done in the rural areas and to balance out what's happening in the more populated parts of the state?
Yes, ma'am. I would love to. This is one of my burning passions right here, is that I really feel like we have such a drastic divide in our county right now. I know earlier somebody mentioned broadband. I agree. We need broadband for our entire area. With the growth we have coming, the infrastructure coming, we've got to be able to support those things, the new homes, the new schools, everything that's coming. Right now, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the Peloton bikes. For my wife to exercise on her bike, we have to cut off the Wi-Fi on our cell phones, or one or the other will not work. She struggles to even work from home. She is a remote nurse, project manager for UNC, and currently, although she was fortunate enough to be able to work from home and not make the hour drive in, she's having to drive in every day because our internet can't carry a web conference. The zoning issues that were brought up earlier. I do not feel that we need to zone the entire county as one county, because right now it's not the same. We've got to protect the rural area that's out there. We've also got to represent them. And I know Franklin has been out there, and he understands our struggles out there a little bit, but us as a board have to come together and do a little better job of trying to blend them two things together.
Will you talk a little bit about the PFAS and dioxin issues as they might affect Chatham County and where you are?
Yes, I will be the first to admit I am not a water expert. I do feel like the two gentlemen I'm running with, Joe and Tom, are both, Tom especially is very well versed in this area. And like a lot of the candidates said, we have to lean on the professionals. But part of leaning on is we have to bring the right professionals in. We need to get them in sooner rather than later. We need to get these reports and different things out, and then we need to go after the source of the problem. We need to look upstream. If that's the problem, we need to go after them. And when I say go after them, we need to stand up and say, look, this is an issue and we're done with it. You know, we've got to put our foot down and stop that. Outside of that, like I said, bring in the people who know what they're doing, and something I love to do in everything is use a little common sense. Look at it, you know, what makes the most common sense, what's the best for the people, and run with it.
Thank you. And do you have anything to add on the wastewater issue that you would like to talk about?
I would probably roll a lot and head to the same bucket. Same way, I'm not a wastewater expert. I run a business. My proficiency is a little more in budgets and P&L, which we talked about earlier. You know, our budget has grown drastically. We need to look at that. That's a little more where I feel like I can bring a little more expertise, something I do on a daily basis. But again, something else that I've learned in my career is that instead of fighting issues you're not sure about, go find the person that knows what they're doing, bring them in there, put them to the forefront, and get some action going and get behind it.
Thank you. Thank you. And